Hi, I'm Adam Biggers of Bleacher Report, and with me today is Ken Magee, Michigan football historian, and Bruce Madej, the Wolverines' longest-running PR manager. We're going to take a tour of Towsley Museum, see some of the great pieces of memorabilia that help encompass and tell the story of Michigan football. Bruce, you have 5 decades of experience and relationships with the Michigan football program. I know that putting together this museum was a project near and dear to your heart. Can you tell us a little bit about how this came about, how you were able to just physically plan where the jerseys would go, where you would showcase the trophies?
Well, basically what happened is Downstream from Portland, Oregon was the designer. Like the wall behind us is their idea. That's the win wall. We are the winningest football program in Division I in college football history, and every football in there is a victory for the University of Michigan Wolverines. So that was done by Downstream, and they pretty much set this all up. And then what I did was I came in and had to figure out how we were going to tell the story of Michigan football. And that's basically what I did. Kenny's the guy who, when you take a look at this memorabilia, all Ken's. You know, that's the couple of the trophies. But this is how you figure you're going to start. And of course, the Bo versus Woody 10-year war.
I think one of the things from a collector's standpoint that this wall shows is several things. For example, bobblehead dolls of Bo and Woody. And then bumper stickers were a thing that were so common back in the 60s and 70s. People think of bumper stickers for political elections. Well, you've got a lot of cool bumper stickers here as well. The first time that Bo beat Woody was in 1969, and the next year they came out with a bumper sticker that says, "Goody goody, Bo beat Woody."
These are the Michigan football legendary numbers. When you go through, the numbers that were retired were Kramer, Oosterbaan, Ford, Harmon, and the Wisters. And Desmond Howard's number was never retired. Desmond Howard's number was used as a legendary number. That's the first time that we started using numbers as legendary numbers. As you can see, we did the covers of every one of the games. Greg Kinney at the Bentley Library had basically scanned every one of the covers. This is the Tom Harmon corner. He was a great broadcaster nationally. He was a war hero, okay, and he was a Heisman Trophy winner, the first at the University of Michigan. This is all of Tom Harmon's paraphernalia, from everything from his blanket, jersey, his helmet, his pants, the trophies.
One of the highlights of my collection is this ticket stub right here. That is the Michigan-Chicago game in 1898. It was the game that Michigan defeated Chicago and inspired Louis Elbel to write The Victors right after that game. And one of the more unique items was in the late 1800s, they would give players, like these days, they give rings or some watches or something of that nature. This piece is from the late 1800s. It was given to one of the players on the team, and what it is a matchbook holder. It's made out of sterling silver, and it's enameled, and it would be used to hold matches for the players when they wanted to smoke their pipe later on after the games. This is a montage of the Michigan-Chicago games in the early 1900s, late 1800s. The Michigan-Chicago series was huge back in the day. This is one of my favorite pieces right here. This is a young Fielding Yost on the bottom of a button, and on top of the button it says Tournament of Roses 1902. That is a button from the 1902 Rose Bowl game. Michigan All-American and famous football head coach Harry Kipke was adorned on the back of a Wheaties box back in the 1930s. This is another really neat piece that I like a lot. This is a banjo from 1927, and it just shows the school spirit. And if you look very closely, you will see written on there not only autographs of people, but the schedule of the 1927 season. This item up here was made in the 40s. and it has a companion piece to it as well, which is an ashtray, and this is a cigarette holder. You would hold your cigarettes in that and take the top off, and it was commemorating Michigan Football Stadium. Matchbooks that had not only football schedules on them, but rivalry information such as the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry on those two matchbooks. Another unique piece is in the 1948 Rose Bowl. The commemorative items often in this day and age are things such as rings or watches. In this game specifically, it was a lighter, a cigarette lighter. And you will see some of the iconic names of Michigan football, such as Benny Oosterbaum on the cover of the ticket information sheet, or an ashtray made with Benny's picture on it and his captain. And then some of the other things such as buttons and bumper stickers and the old beanies that would be worn to games in the 1970s, the whole Woody Hayes versus Bo Schembechler rivalry, even a bumper sticker that says, "Save fuel, burn Woody." Rose Bowl tickets and bowl game tickets in and of themselves are very, very beautiful. You can see these are all unused tickets. They're very large in size, commemorating the different games from the Rose Bowl to the Hall of Fame to the Orange Bowl, all sorts of games where the tickets basically not only are for corporate sponsors, but they show the significance of the game in and of itself. But you'll also notice that none of the tickets have the names of the teams playing on them, because the tickets are printed way ahead of the game before the game's ever played.
When visitors come here to Towsley, what are you hoping that they leave with?
I hope they, number one, enjoy it. Number two, I hope they find pieces of the tradition that they can remember and relate to. And three, I hope they find something that they never knew about Michigan and can take that away. That's basically what I hope happens when somebody comes in and visits.